One minute he's bowling rockets for the West Indies. The next he's completely off the cricket radar. And what he did with his money during that silence will blow your mind. Johann Layne was a name that sent shivers down batsmen's spines in the early 2000s. A genuine fast bowler from Barbados, the island that's produced more legendary fast bowlers than anywhere else on Earth. If you know Caribbean cricket, you know Barbados doesn't just produce fast bowlers, it produces warriors. Marshall, Holding, Garner, Ambrose, Edwards. The list goes on. And Johann Layne was supposed to join that list of legends. He had the pace. He had the aggression. He had that Bajan attitude that made batsmen uncomfortable before he even released the ball. Johann made his international debut for the West Indies in 2004, and cricket fans got excited. Here was a guy who could bowl genuinely quick, consistently hitting the mid-80s miles per hour, sometimes touching 90. In modern cricket, that kind of pace is gold. He took wickets in his early matches, showed promise, had moments where he looked absolutely unplayable. People started talking about him as a key part of West Indies' future bowling attack. But then, like so many West Indian fast bowlers before him, his international career was short. By 2008, he'd played only a handful of test matches and limited overs games. Injuries, selection politics, the usual mess that is West Indies cricket administration, all played a part. But here's where the story gets really interesting, and it's something most cricket fans have no idea about. While Johann Layne's international cricket career faded, while he stopped appearing in West Indies squads, while people stopped talking about him as the next big thing, he was quietly building something that would make him wealthier than most cricketers who played twice as many international matches. And I'm about to tell you exactly how he did it. First, let's understand where Johann came from. Barbados isn't a wealthy island by international standards, but it has a strong cricket culture and infrastructure. Young players get opportunities, get coaching, get exposure. But even with those advantages, most cricketers from the Caribbean don't come from money. Johann grew up playing cricket because it was what you did in Barbados, especially if you were big, strong, and could throw a ball fast. His early cricket career was about survival as much as success. Playing club cricket, then getting selected for Barbados regional teams, earning small match fees, and hoping for that international call-up that would change everything. When that call-up finally came in 2004, it did change things, but not in the way most people expected. Johann played international cricket for West Indies over a period of about 4 years, appearing in roughly 10 test matches and a handful of one-day internationals. At that time, West Indies cricketers weren't making huge money from international cricket. Test match fees were maybe $4,000 to $6,000 per game. ODIs were less, maybe $2,000. Add it all up over his short international career, and Johann probably made somewhere between $60,000 to $80,000 from playing for the West Indies. That's decent money, especially for a young guy from Barbados. But it's not life-changing wealth. But Johann Layne was smart in ways that most young cricketers weren't. People who knew him back then say he was always asking questions about money, about investments, about what happened to cricketers after their careers ended. He'd seen too many legendary West Indian players end up broke, struggling, selling memorabilia just to pay bills. He saw Malcolm Marshall's family struggling after his death. He saw other fast bowling heroes from Barbados living modestly despite their achievements, and he decided that wasn't going to be his story. While he was still playing international cricket, Johann started connecting with business people in Barbados. Not just hanging out with them, but learning from them. Learning about real estate, about tourism businesses, about import-export operations. Barbados has a thriving economy based on tourism, offshore banking, and trade with North America and Europe. Smart people with even modest capital can get involved in profitable ventures if they know the right people and make smart choices. Johann started making those connections while he still had the profile of being a West Indies cricketer. Here's the move that changed everything for him. When his international career started fading, instead of desperately trying to hold on to that West Indies spot, instead of getting bitter about selection politics, Johann pivoted completely to franchise cricket. This was the mid to late 2000s, right when T20 leagues were starting to explode globally. The Indian Premier League launched in 2008. Other leagues were popping up everywhere. And here's what people don't understand about franchise cricket. You don't have to be a superstar to make excellent money. You just need to be reliable, professional, and available. Johann Layne was a fast bowler with international experience, which automatically made him valuable to T20 franchises. He played in multiple leagues over the next several years. Caribbean Premier League, obviously, where he represented Barbados Tridents and other franchises. He played in various domestic T20 leagues in England, in Bangladesh, in smaller leagues that paid well for experienced players. A journeyman T20 fast bowler who knows what he's doing can earn $20,000 to $40,000 per tournament. Play in 4 or 5 tournaments a year, and suddenly you're making $150,000 to $200,000 annually. That's more than most West Indies international cricketers earn, and you're not dealing with the pressure and politics of international cricket. But the real genius of Johann's strategy wasn't just earning that money. It was what he did with it. Every single dollar he made from cricket, he was investing. Real estate was his primary focus, specifically in Barbados, where he understood the market. He started buying properties in the mid to late 2000s when prices were reasonable. Small apartments at first, then houses, then commercial properties. Barbados has a constant demand for rental properties because of tourism, because of international residents, because of offshore workers. Buy property in the right areas, and you have guaranteed rental income forever. People close to Johann say he was obsessive about this. He would finish a cricket tournament, collect his payment, and immediately be on the phone with his lawyer or accountant asking about property opportunities. He wasn't buying properties to live in or show off. He was buying them as investments, as income generators. By 2010, while he was still playing professional cricket, he already owned 3 rental properties in Barbados. By 2015, that number had grown to 6 or 7. Today, rumor in Barbadian business circles puts his property portfolio at somewhere between 10 to 15 properties, worth collectively between 1.5 to 2 million US dollars. But real estate wasn't his only play. Johann got involved in the car import business in Barbados, and this is where the luxury cars part of the story comes in. Barbados imports almost all its vehicles, mostly from Japan, the United States, and Europe. There's a thriving market for both regular cars and luxury vehicles, and margins can be excellent if you know what you're doing. Johann partnered with established importers, learning the business, making connections with suppliers overseas. Eventually, he started importing vehicles himself, focusing on the luxury and sports car market where profits are highest. This is where his car collection comes from, and it's impressive. He owns multiple high-end vehicles, some for personal use and some as inventory for his import business. There are photos on his private social media showing him with a Range Rover, a BMW, a Mercedes-Benz, and even a Porsche. These aren't just toys. These are business assets that he uses, enjoys, and eventually sells at a profit. The car import business in Barbados can be extremely profitable because wealthy residents and tourists want nice vehicles, and someone who can source them reliably and price them correctly makes serious money. Now let's talk numbers, because this is what you really want to know. Based on everything we can piece together about Johann Layne's financial situation, his net worth is estimated at somewhere between 1.8 to 2.2 million US dollars. That might not sound like crazy wealth by international celebrity standards, but context matters. Johann Layne played very little international cricket. His playing career was relatively short and unremarkable by legend standards. Most cricketers with similar international careers end up with very little to show for it financially. But Johann built a fortune that will support him and his family for the rest of his life. And he did it by being smart, disciplined, and strategic. His current lifestyle reflects this wealth, but in a measured way. He lives in a beautiful home in Barbados. Nothing outrageous, but definitely upscale. Multiple bedrooms, modern finishes, nice views, probably worth around $400,000 to $500,000. The location is good in an area popular with Barbadian professionals and international residents. Security is excellent because that matters in the Caribbean. The home has space for his family, for entertaining, for his car collection. Speaking of cars, this is where Johann allows himself some indulgence. His personal vehicle is usually something impressive, often a Range Rover or high-end BMW. These vehicles in Barbados are status symbols, yes, but they're also practical for island life. Good suspension for roads that aren't always perfect. Air conditioning that actually works in Caribbean heat. Comfortable for his size because Johann is a big guy. And unlike many athletes who buy expensive cars just to stunt on social media, Johann's cars are part of his business. He uses them. He understands their value, and he knows how to sell them when it's time. His daily life is comfortable but not flashy. He still trains occasionally, keeping fit because he plays some local cricket and helps coach young fast bowlers in Barbados. He travels, but usually for business or cricket-related opportunities, not just vacation. He eats well, probably has a personal trainer to maintain his physical condition. He can afford luxury but chooses it selectively. People who know him say he's generous with family but not stupid about money. He helps relatives, funds education for younger family members, makes sure his parents are comfortable, but he's not the guy who just hands out cash to everyone who asks. What's really interesting about Johann's story is how under the radar he's kept everything. In an era where athletes broadcast every purchase and every success on social media, Johann Layne has maintained a relatively low profile. His social media exists, but it's not about flexing wealth. He posts about cricket, about Barbados, about family, occasional pictures with nice cars, but nothing excessive. This is either smart branding or genuine privacy preference, and people who know him say it's both. He understands that showing off makes you a target in the Caribbean, where crime and jealousy can be real problems. There's another dimension to Johann's success that's worth highlighting. He got involved in cricket development in Barbados, running coaching programs for young fast bowlers. This serves multiple purposes. It keeps him connected to cricket, which he loves. It builds his reputation in the community as someone who gives back. It provides another income stream because these programs charge fees. And most importantly, it positions him as a mentor and leader, which opens business doors. People want to work with successful people who are also good people, and Johann has carefully built that reputation. His investment strategy has evolved over the years too. Beyond real estate and cars, he's put money into small business ventures with trusted partners. There's talk of involvement in a gym or fitness center in Barbados, mention of investment in a restaurant or bar, which makes sense because tourism and nightlife are huge industries in Barbados. He's diversified his portfolio in ways that most athletes never think about. He's not keeping all his money in one type of investment. He's spreading risk while maximizing opportunities. The car import business has been particularly lucrative for him. He's built relationships with suppliers in Japan and the United States who give him access to quality vehicles at good prices. He understands the Barbadian market, knows what sells, knows how to price competitively while maintaining margins. His reputation as a former West Indies cricketer actually helps in business because people trust him, recognize his name, want to do business with someone they've heard of. He's leveraged his cricket fame into business credibility. What makes Johann Layne's story so compelling is the choice he made that most athletes never consider. When his international cricket career didn't go as planned, he could have gotten bitter, could have blamed selectors, could have spent years fighting for a spot that wasn't coming. Instead, he looked at reality clearly and made a strategic decision. Take the cricket earnings and fame you have, invest them wisely, build businesses, create long-term wealth. Don't chase glory that might never come. Build security that definitely will come if you're smart about it. There's a lesson here about athletic careers that goes beyond cricket. Your playing days are always limited, usually much more limited than you think they'll be. Injuries happen, form dips. Younger players come along. Politics and bad luck intervene. What separates athletes who end up wealthy from athletes who end up broke isn't usually how much they earned during their career. It's what they did with those earnings. Johann Layne earned a fraction of what some international cricket stars make. But he'll end up wealthier than many of them because he invested smartly from day one. His story also highlights something about modern professional sports that fans often miss. Playing for your country is an honor, but it's not always the best financial decision. International cricket for the West Indies means dealing with incompetent administration, inconsistent selection, delayed payments, and enormous pressure. Franchise cricket and smart business investments offer more control, more certainty, and often more money. Johann recognized this before most cricketers did, and he acted on it. So what really happened to Johann Layne? He didn't disappear. He didn't fail. He didn't waste his talent. He made a calculated decision to prioritize wealth building over cricket glory, and it paid off spectacularly. While other cricketers from his era are struggling financially or working regular jobs, Johann is running multiple businesses, collecting luxury cars, and living comfortably in Barbados. He figured out that the real game isn't cricket, it's building lasting wealth, and he won that game decisively. The next time someone tells you an athlete wasted their career or didn't live up to potential, ask them about the athlete's bank account. Success isn't just about statistics and highlights. Sometimes it's about a beautiful home, a collection of nice cars, and the freedom to live life on your terms long after the crowd stopped cheering. Drop a comment telling me if you'd choose cricket fame or financial freedom. And smash that subscribe button because we're diving into another forgotten athlete's secret fortune next week.